off the hook.
If you played enough Star Wars Pod Racer,
Well, I can do it. I just what you're saying is I just need to be more zen about it. Just let them go in front of me. It's
yeah,
fine.
slim cut. And the thing is, it's not a sprint. Everyone treats it as a sprint. It's a
No, but
marathon.
you're always having to change your speed then. If you could just go the one speed most of the time, it'd be fine. But then you're always, oh,
It's what
now I have to
keeps me
slow
awake.
down.
It's a very straight highway. It keeps me awake.
Yeah, that's true. There's not much else to
It's
do on
part
that
of the
highway.
mental gymnastics I do to keep me awake. Especially when you get those trucks with the towing the beehives, and they get all covered in your windshield. You got to stop at the gas station,
I
and
don't,
wipe them
I don't
off.
know those.
Like when you go through what's the
I've never been behind a truck with a beehive on it.
yeah, you've never seen those. It's always during the spring. They bring
Hmm.
around the bees to pollinate all the orchards, but they
I do
carry them
most of
on.
my driving on Interstate 5 in November and December, I guess.
Huh,
So
all
that would
season
be
maybe.
why. I do not get the apiary-like experience that you get.
Bees. I had bees stuck in my grill and my windshield, wipers, everything.
Where's Bellbot?
I'm right here.
You're
No,
your
no,
bell bot, your
no.
chat client
Bellbot
bot.
bot.
Oh, man.
Oh, did you have a
She'll
falling
be
out?
back.
I'm just too busy to put up with her right now.
All right. You ready to get started?
Yeah.
Let's go. You
Let
ready, Roger?
me, yes, let me hide.
Quality content thrives through the support of those who benefit from its creation. If you gain value from the Daily Tech News Show, consider joining others like me who provide support. Learn how to help at dailytechnewsshow.com/support.
This is the Daily Tech News for Monday, August 22nd, 2016. I'm Tom Merritt. Joining me today, as she does most Mondays, Ms. Veronica Belmont from deep in the heart of San Francisco.
Oh, that's where I left my heart.
Did you find it? You're there.
I
It should be
did.
nearby.
I
You
did.
shouldn't have to look far.
I shouldn't have left it here, though. Bad idea.
Of course, Veronica calling us from her new job. Well, it's not even that new anymore. Still newish.
Yeah, this is week 4, I guess.
Yeah. You're a vet now.
I'm an old pro.
You're an old pro at the Growbot. But we're going to be talking a little bit about self-assembling machines, something they're researching out at MIT in a bit. Sony is raising the price of a PlayStation Plus membership from $50 to $60 a year. So you should know that if you're a Sony Plus
Oh.
person. Now here are some more top stories. Android Nougat is out of beta and available for Google's Nexus devices, the Pixel C tablet, and the General Mobile 4G. That's one of their Android One phones. If you don't have one of those, you have to wait for your carrier to sign off on it. It should roll out to the Google Nexuses over the next couple of weeks. I did not get my Nougat on either of my devices yet. I have a 5X and a Pixel C, but I'm hoping to get them later today. You can jump to the front of the line if you sign up for the beta programs. It's not like you can't get it, but otherwise, if you're just waiting for it to get pushed to you, you might have to wait. The LG V20 will be the first phone sold with Nougat pre-installed. That arrives in early September. Nougat lets you take action right from a notification, so you can answer emails, stuff like that. It bundles notifications from the same app. Added a new look and customization options to the quick settings drop-down widget.
Wibbage? A wibbage?
Wibbage. And of course, the big attention getter is the ability to see two apps side by side, just like in Windows 1.0.
Wow.
See two apps at the same time. Also, a data saver mode that lets notifications through but doesn't let large downloads through. Easier on your bandwidth cap. And starting with Nougat, updates will download in the background and alert you when they are ready to install. That is actually my favorite feature of this update, because whenever I have to update Android, it always seems like it takes forever. It really doesn't take that long, but because you have to wait for the download and then the restart and everything, this will be nice.
That is a delicious looking update, gotta say.
Full of nougaty goodness.
I like nougat. I don't understand people who don't, but that's a topic for a different day. Fast Company reports Apple has acquired health data company Glimpse, which puts medical records and health details into a secure bundle customers can choose to share with doctors, caregivers, and researchers if they so wish. Glimpse was founded in 2013 by Anil Sethi, a former Apple systems engineer, so coming back into the fold.
Yeah, and I believe he was an engineer in the 80s too. So this is not somebody who was just there a couple of years ago, left and boomeranging right back. Also, I feel like we should point out that Glimpse has two eyes. Gleams.
Got it. What?
It's got two eyes.
Gleams.
Yeah.
Gleams.
But this is.
I think this makes a lot of sense because. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're on it.
Okay, I was going to say this makes a lot of sense considering that we're all, like a lot of people are wearing Apple Watches these days. I shouldn't say we all because it's actually a very small fraction of all the people out there. But I would like to be able to use some of that data in some kind of meaningful sort of way. So this would be a great application of that data.
Yeah, Apple's trying to do this already, like allow you to share your measurement data with your doctor, allow you to share it with researchers. And so acquiring a company that not only does that, but with all of the intricacies of HIPAA compliance and everything else, figures out how to navigate that world and allow you to have all of your medical information. I mean, personally, that would be nice to just have it all under my control. Not that it isn't under my control, but it's not in one place. So being able to have that option, and then, I guess my only regret is I would like to be able to use other devices with this than just Apple devices. But
yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
not in this way.
The Wall Street Journal has sources who appear to confirm the legitimacy of a leaked picture of a new, smaller version of the PlayStation 4. Sony has a press announcement scheduled for September 7th in New York, where it is expected to announce a 4K-capable PlayStation. This is the one that they have said, we're going to have a 4K PlayStation. Its project name is Neo. We don't expect that to be the final name of the product, but we'll find that out on September 7th. And the Wall Street Journal says they have been ramping down production of the original PlayStation 4, so it looks like this slimmer PS4 will replace the original PS4 in the lineup, and we'll get to meet that on September 7th, is the way the rumor goes.
Are you looking to upgrade?
I am not, no. I know a lot of people are looking at this and saying, oh, so Sony's going to have two PlayStations. And the fact of the matter was, ever since they said they were going to come out with a 4K PlayStation, it meant they were going to have two PlayStations. This doesn't mean there's going to be three PlayStations. It's very traditional, right, for them to come out with a slimmed down version of the PlayStation. As far back as the PS2, they've done that. So it doesn't surprise me that they would do this at all. It's interesting that they want to do it at the same time as the 4K because it psychologically says, well, the original PlayStation 4 is no longer available. So if you have that, that's the old one. Now we have the slim one and the 4K one.
Gotcha. Yeah, I still don't have I don't have a PlayStation anymore, but maybe someday. Maybe this will be enough.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are looking at this and saying, well, wait a minute, I'm upset because I bought an original PlayStation 4 2 years ago, and I don't want to have to replace my console. And Sony has promised you won't have to. You should still be able to play all of the games that you could on the original PlayStation. The original PlayStation, they have said, should work with PlayStation VR, but it's that envy, right, of like, oh, well, maybe I want to get an upgrade. If you don't have a PlayStation, though, is 4K enough to swing you over?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Not for me. I'm still happy with my PC. Speaking of which, Microsoft announced it has acquired scheduling tool Genie and will integrate it into Office 365. It launched a year ago and uses natural language processing to interpret email and automatically create calendar invites. The existing service will shut down September 1st.
Yeah, so they're getting rid of the service. That's going to be sad for
Keep
existing.
eating things. They took away my sunrise calendar. Now they're probably going to combine this, fold it into this for the new Office 365. They're taking all my stuff, man.
But I like the idea of being able to use this. You and I both know the heartache of trying to schedule a large meeting with people in various parts of the world who all have different schedules. And the promise of Genie is we can just read those emails and come up with potential schedules and send invites. Like, it's supposed to be that good as AI.
Well, Gmail already kind of does this also. So I guess this is kind of Microsoft answering that in a way, and being able to integrate that kind of technology as well. But yeah, Gmail's pretty good. It doesn't ask to send out invites yet, but it can definitely interpret that there are dates and times within an existing email and see if you want to add those to your calendar. So this is kind of taking that one step further.
And this is supposed to work not just in Outlook either. It's supposed to work on whatever email service you use too. So I'm curious what this ends up being when it's moved into Office 365. And yeah, like you say, I'm a little sad to see it go away. I would try it today if it weren't going away on September 1st. Now I'll just wait.
Not a lot of time.
Yeah. Netgear is the latest to market a multiple router solution to Wi-Fi coverage. The Netgear Orbi system combines one router and one range extender to provide coverage, they say, of up to 4,000 square feet. They do it a little differently than, say, Eero or some of the others, where those are mesh networks. This is not. What it's doing is it has a 2.4 and a 5 gigahertz radio for Wi-Fi, like a Wi-Fi router normally does, but it also adds a third 5 gigahertz radio that is used for the range extender to communicate directly with the base station, and that supposedly allows better optimization, so you don't need more than two in most cases. The base 2-pack will cost you $400, and they will add single add-on units if for some reason you do find out you need one, and that will eventually be sold for $250.
Yeah, not super cheap, although I don't really remember how much some of those other offerings are going for, comparatively speaking. But yeah, it seems like everybody's looking for a solution to this kind of problem right now.
Yeah, they're all around $300, $400, and it's funny, the Netgear folks are like, well, the cheap routers these days aren't any better than the router you have. So if people are going to buy a new router anyway, they're probably going to be willing to pay more because they're looking for an upgrade rather than just replacing the router they have, because routers, I mean, they break sometimes, but they're pretty long lasting. So places like Eero or Luma is another one that's out there, usually are around $300 or $400. So this is the new world of, hey, don't buy just one router, buy two or three. Like the 3-pack of Luma is $250, and you won't have dead spots anymore. That's the big promise. It's
kind of like everyone just decided that the original routers just were like, well, you know what, this is just never going to be good enough, so we're just going to start adding routers onto the routers because we just can't come up with a solution that fixes all the problems.
You've got an Eero, don't you?
Yeah, we do, and it works great.
Yeah, I've been using mine for a while now, and I have noticed fewer problems over time. I mentioned this before on the show, but when we first put it up, it would need to be rebooted every so often.
Yep.
I'd have to turn my Wi-Fi off and on every so often because it wouldn't.
My phone wouldn't pick up on it.
Yeah, there were little
weirdness
like that. But it has continually upgraded itself and learned, which it's supposed to do because it's a mesh network. And I can't think of the last time I had any kind of issue with it.
You know, now that you mention it, me neither. So
Yeah,
I guess it's getting better.
Well, yeah, it's kind of weird because you don't know if it really got better or you're just not accidentally not having those issues, or did you just get used to them? But yeah, I think the Eero and the Luma are better bargains. They're cheaper than this. I'm curious to see some tests in the real world of the Orbi system, because if the Eero and the Luma, with both have fairly good reviews, are cheaper, why would you bother paying more to only get two? Unless it was significantly better. Yeah.
Reuters reports its sources say Samsung plans to start selling refurbished smartphones as early as next year. The phones will come from returns by customers who signed up for one-year upgrade programs. No other details of the plan were reported, though.
Yeah, Samsung is realizing what everybody in the phone industry is realizing is it's a commodity market. So if we want to keep making money, we need to be able to resell our phones when people trade them in.
And they're probably still in pretty decent shape. But yeah, people keep upgrading so quickly. That's a lot of electronic waste, too. So I'm kind of glad that they're finding out a solution for reusing some of these products.
Definitely. Did you hear that they're looking into making the Olympic medals in Tokyo in 2020 out of reclaimed smartphones?
No, that's cool.
At least in part, right?
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. So that is an issue as the upgrade cycle has remained pretty fast. It's slowed down a little bit. That's part of the commoditization of smartphones, but it's mostly that most people have phones. So you're not getting these scads of people who didn't have a smartphone before suddenly flooding in. And Samsung has been doing very well selling smartphones of late, and they don't want to lose that edge. So they're looking at a way to boost the numbers. Interesting to me that it took them this long to do it. Apple started selling refurbished phones quite a long time ago, as did many other manufacturers.
Would you be disappointed as an Olympian to receive a recycled phone medal as opposed to a gold-plated, probably, what is it, like nickel or whatever they're actually making the medals out of?
Well, yeah. I mean, I as long as it's still got the same gold on the outside that the current one has, shouldn't it be? Should be good. Should be better. Can I
like
make calls
how
with it?
I read a very yeah, that'd be good. Can I use it as a Wi-Fi repeater?
Yeah. Will it be a range extender for my Eero?
Yeah.
What were you going to say? You read something?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I was just reading an interesting story about how why photographers take so many pictures of the Olympians biting their medals, and it used to be to prove that it was like. But gold is actually softer than a lot of the other metals, so if you bit a gold medal too hard, you'd actually leave a dent in it. But that's how you would prove that it was gold.
Yeah. So they're asking them to damage their medals.
Essentially, yes.
Well, thanks to all those who participate on our subreddit. You don't damage our show. You make it better by your votes or your submissions. Get on over there to dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com and join the folks like Another J. Martin, Saucy Tech, Steve I.O., Flying Spatula, I'm the Man 90, Captain Kipper, T-Glass 1976, and more. Let us know what you want us to talk about at dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. And that is a look at the headlines. So FastCodeDesign.com, that's Fast Company's design spinoff, has an article from Meg Miller today about self-assembly. It focuses on Skylar Tibbetts. He's a research scientist in MIT's Department of Architecture and co-director of the Self-Assembly Lab. Those of you who follow TED Talks very closely have probably seen him before. He's done a few TEDx talks, and he's been working on self-assembly as a concept all the way back to 2011 and before. Mm-hmm. The idea is to develop materials that can assemble themselves. He says a simple set of responsive building blocks, energy, and interactions that can be designed within nearly every material and machining process available. So he's talked before about 4D printing, which is kind of a buzzword for using 3D printers to print materials that can then grow and change on their own. So you print out something flat, and then in the real world, it can turn into a three-dimensional object when you need it to. Like most of the demos he throws in water. Did you see the table that they have done? Yeah.
Yeah, the flat pat furniture. So you basically just like give it a little touch or pull it up, and it snaps right into place. No assembly required.
Yeah.
And a lot of these technology elements that they're putting together, they put them in this tumbler, as you said, and they kind of snap together using a system of magnets. And so you just drop in 3 different pieces, roll the tumbler around, and eventually the phone kind of puts itself together. And this, of course, takes out some of the human element, though they have been thinking a lot about ways to protect the electronic elements inside of the phones in order to make sure they're not damaged during the process. Obviously, something that's a very Iditarod process.
Yeah. You need huskies for it, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool. I'm still having a hard time kind of figuring out, like the flat pack furniture, that makes a lot of sense to me. The cell phone one doesn't seem to make as much sense to me. I'm not really sure why this is exactly a better process. I guess cutting out people in the long run will save money and time, perhaps. And I guess time is money, so companies obviously want the process to take less time and save more money. But I don't know. It seems like a not very effective way of putting together gadgets to put them in a giant tumbler and hope all the pieces come together.
Well, if it were just hope, I would 100% agree with you. It is varying magnets, and they have demonstrations that show them being done. Where I start to get skeptical is there still needs to be some assembly of the pieces. Like you said, it's only 3 pieces per phone. So you are saving some assembly by being able to do this. And a lot of manufacturing installations have tumblers for various reasons, so it might not be that costly to set up. But I wonder...
They're not self-soldering. They're not
Yeah, and the magnets have to be good enough to keep them together. So I'm wondering just how much savings you would have, what kind of quality these phones would be. I know it's really easy, and I know loads of you in our audience are quick to take pot shots at stuff like this because of these objections. And a lot of times I'm the one pointing out this is just a proof of concept. Yes, they haven't worked out all the kinks to it, but it shows that you can eventually do it. I would feel more confident if this self-assembly laboratory had come up with any ideas that are at least close to the public over the past several years. I think they started their lab in 2013. Mm-hmm. It's still a little early, so I don't know what to think. Part of me says, look, they're just doing the research to figure these out. Of course, they're going to look a little clunky because these are the first prototypes of these kinds of assembly. Look at that table, like you said earlier. That one's something that could get to market soon. Give them 5 to 10 years, and the concept of self-assembling products boggles the mind, because things could even adapt to various locations and be able to have multiple memories and reconfigure themselves based on where they are.
I would like my makeup to self-assemble in the morning. That would be great.
On your face.
On my face.
Yeah.
On my face.
Uh-huh.
I think that for me, the furniture is really the killer app of this whole idea, because I think they worked with Ikea on some of the design processes. But I love the idea of going to the store, buying one of these, like a flat pack bed, being able to cart it home really easily, and then just, touching it in a certain way, and it turns into a fully formed, functional bed that I didn't have to spend hours painstakingly putting together. So having the pieces know where to put themselves would be amazing. And even the self-lacing sneakers, which was another example that they gave in the article, that's pretty useful. If that's a useful case for this kind of technology, and I'm sure there's many others. But I think big companies will definitely be interested by the idea of somehow finding ways to cut corners in the manufacturing process and reducing the number of human potential error in the process as well.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I think we're a ways out.
It definitely has the potential to make manufacturing more efficient, more cost-effective, and just plain simpler. And the fact that they're working with Marcelo Coelho Studio means they've got high-quality designer involved on this. But it also, to me, because they have a high-quality designer in on it, means they're at the very early stages of these type of technologies. And you need to have them make good demos to get research funding and all of that. I get it. But I guess, you know what it is? I really want this to be a trend, right along with Internet of Things and self-driving cars. Like self-assembling electronics, self-assembling anything sounds like an amazing thing that could change so much of what we do. It would obviously have impacts both positive and negative on the workforce, but it could make things work in ways that we never would have imagined them, because we just pull something out of a flat pack and it puts itself together.
Self-assembling tents.
Yeah.
If you go out backpacking and you don't want to spend a ton of time setting up camp, like that would be great. I would love something like that. I'm trying to think of like
disassembling tents.
Yes,
too.
Refolding it and sticking it back in the bag it came in perfectly. That would be great. I'm trying to think of like really great use cases for this kind of stuff, and for me, like the big ticket items like furniture make a ton of sense.
Yeah, I'm just that alone, and the idea that back in the day we used to have these big schematics with all of these steps that you would take to not only put together your furniture but all kinds of other things, and that could just go away. And in the future, people are like, oh well, yeah, you just pull it out of the pack and you tap it, and then it turns into the thing you want. That could be a normal thing, and yet, as excited as I get, I start to pull back because there have been a lot of self-assembling prototypes, and we're in that battery technology stage, which is that, hey, it looks great in the lab, but we have yet to see it hit the actual streets yet. And I'm not saying it will stay in the lab the way battery tech seems to have gotten stuck, but hopefully it won't. Let's get to, instead of a pick of the day, I want to point some folks to our own blog here at dailytechnewsshow.com. We have some folks writing for us that do a great job bringing you entertaining and informative posts outside of the main show. The weekly Tech Views by Mike Range comes on Saturdays at dailytechnewsshow.com. He says, when you want your tech news without all the annoying accuracy, check out Weekly Tech Views. He writes a really funny take on a summary of all the tech news of the week. I find it quite enjoyable, having gone through the show every week with the details to get Mike's take on it. And after you read that, keep an eye out for Sakani Wright's column, Your Private Driver. There'll be one of those this afternoon about the ride-sharing industry told from a person behind the wheel. Sakani's been on the show before. He is an Uber and Lyft driver. He also drives for UPS and FedEx and places like that. I'm not sure which one he drives on, so I shouldn't say names, but he does drive freight delivery. And this week he's talking about the class action settlements with Uber, among other things. So check that out at dailytechnewsshow.com as well.
Insider info. I love it.
Yeah, inside the car info on self-driving. So some laughs, some smiles, some insider info. It's all at dailytechnewsshow.com. A different Mike wrote in to make the case for component HD video. We were talking about losing the audio jack from your phone. Where's your stance on that, Veronica?
I'm bitter. I'm a little bitter. I have
Okay.
to say, I will be purchasing a new phone. My phone has decided to, it's starting to kick the bucket for some reason. I'm not really sure what's causing it, but it is slow as all get out, and I cannot make it fix itself. So I'm in the market for a new phone, but I am upset a little bit about these new changes potentially, because I love my headphones. I love my existing headphones. I don't want to have to buy new headphones. I know they'll probably give us some when you buy the new phone, perhaps, but I'm not super happy about it. I don't want an ear dongle.
Yeah. Well, and another person wrote in and pointed out, several people wrote in and pointed out, even if they give you the phone, the headphone, if you get an Apple, you might need a Lightning jack, and then if you want to use it anywhere else, you might need USB-C. Even if everybody's standardized on USB-C, wouldn't you still have that problem? So that's another issue here, whereas everybody uses the headphone jack, and the headphone jack works everywhere.
It's going to be a pain. It's
Yeah.
going to be a pain for a little while for sure.
Meanwhile, we were talking about that on Friday, and someone had wrote in saying, would you want composite video instead of HDMI? And I sort of changed it in my mind from composite to component video because, yes, no, I wouldn't want composite, but that's like saying, would you want mono audio instead of your headphone jack? But component video, however, I find to be quite satisfactory because it is easier to port around for the same reason I like the headphone jack. So back to Mike. Mike said, HDMI is actually a terrible video standard that only works over short distances, has no error correction built into it. While this won't apply to most people's home TV setups, if you're going to wire ceiling-mounted projectors, etc., you can very easily run component video hundreds of feet without issue, but HDMI is limited to about 50 feet with the best quality casing possible. Anything longer than that requires additional equipment like repeaters to achieve a longer run that works reliably. There's some great write-ups about HDMI at Blue Jean Cable's website that go into great detail about what's wrong with the HDMI standard. He's got a link to HDMI cable information at Blue Jean's Cable, but also he says check out What's the Matter with HDMI, a great place to get started. I can't agree with you more. HDMI is so nice sometimes when it works,
Yeah,
but
when
then
it
it's so
works.
frustrating when it doesn't.
Gosh, I had forgotten about Blue Jeans Cable. I love that site. It's great, a great resource.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're looking for cables, a place to go check out as well. So yeah, thank you to everybody who wrote in. I think we're mostly in agreement. There were a couple of people emailed in saying they like the idea, and I've read one of those emails. But for the most part, people still want the headphone jack. Maybe we're all just Luddites and we'll be all happy. Maybe Apple will switch to USB-C, and eventually we'll all say, oh, USB-C is great. I don't know why I ever was against it.
Well, yeah, all that happens eventually, but there's that pain period where you have to nothing works together, and I feel like we're about to go through that.
And you keep losing your adapter.
I have so many adapters, dude.
Do you think, this is a total side question I just came up with, do you think we'll ever get to a point where we won't need an adapter? I'm looking right now at the laptop I have in front of me, which has a Thunderbolt to Ethernet adapter on it. I know that I have a Thunderbolt to HDMI adapter down there. And now I'm thinking I might start needing USB-C to headphone jack adapters in the future. Do you think we'll ever get...
I have a power adapter for my own,
Yeah,
for the
right.
MagSafe changes. Yeah.
Yes. Will we ever get to that point where everything is like so standard and computers are so commoditized that we'll have computers that don't need adapters? Those of us who use them frequently. Yeah.
It's all going to be wireless. We're not going to have to worry about any of it
Well, that's
soon.
what
I think
Gary
so.
said about the audio. He's like, just go Bluetooth, and a couple other people said that too.
You know,
But
I didn't believe it, but Ryan switched to Bluetooth headset and he loves it.
They need to fix, and we mentioned this last week, they need to fix being able to use your Bluetooth headsets easily with more than one device, though.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, if we could get like a really good wireless protocol without the lag, without the interference issues, I mean, I'm asking a lot.
We'll get
that
there.
would be
We'll
pretty
get
great.
there. I'm
Yeah.
sure we will.
Well, how old will we be? Like 70? I think I'll be 70.
Too old to enjoy it.
Yes, exactly. But what? I remember headphone jacks. Do you remember headphone? That's what it'll sound like.
I'll
All
say,
right,
no,
thanks.
Tom, I don't. Who are you?
Right. Thank you, Veronica Belmont, for joining us as always. What do you got to tell people about?
Oh, geez, Louise. I don't know. I mean, I started this great new job at Growbot. So if you have a big Slack team and like to give your teammates appreciation, check us out at growbot.io. I'm on Twitter at Veronica. Growbot's there at TryGrowbot. And Sword and Laser at swordandlaser.com. Nope, that's not right. We are at swordandlaser.com, but we're also at Sword and Laser on Twitter.
On Twitter, yeah.
If you like sci-fi and fantasy, check us out.
We'll be kicking off a new book that I need to pick by the end.
That's right. I was supposed to get on you about that.
Yes. Well, consider myself gotten on. Yeah, or something. Check that out, swordandlaser.com. Thank you to everyone who supports this show. We appreciate you being willing to help us out. dailytechnewsshow.com/support or patreon.com/DTNS to find out how. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. You can catch the show live Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern at alphageekradio.com and diamondclub.tv. And you can visit our website, dailytechnewsshow.com. Back tomorrow with Patrick Beja. Talk to you then.
Part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Boom. Good show. What should we call it?
What's the name of the thing we go to? What's the name of the Showbot?
Showbot.tv. Hey, you made it through the private room without getting kicked out.
I sure did.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, I love this one. Route, damn dead spot, route, I say. That's amazing. A little Shakespeare action. Voted. It's long, but I love it.
Did you get your nougat?
Enter?
Did you get your nougat? That's
did you
funny,
get
too.
your
I
A
like
fat
that.
chance of slim.
Ah.
The Iditarod process.
Yeah, I did. What was I trying to say?
You're trying to say
Iterative. I was trying to say iterative. That's a hard one. If
Why
you're
don't you
tired.
just say multiple changes over time?
Why don't you? There were so many things that I could not say on air to you just now.
It's okay.
you
I'm sure Jen
self-assemble?
will channel you later because she says a lot of things in the evening. Fellas, I gotta have more Wi-Fi. It's a take on the SNL skit with Blue Oyster Cult
Oh yeah.
with Christopher Walken as.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites.
Is it?
Yeah, it's probably my favorite SNL skit of all time. I think I can safely say. But I didn't even catch that reference from that, so. Some assembly required. That's cute.
Assemble thyself.
Rose gold medals. I just got that.
Yeah. So are we just going the route? Damn dead spot.
I
route
think
tester?
so.
Okay.
I like that one. You guys good with that one?
Sure.
I am. All right, I gotta blow this popsicle stand.
All right.
All
Thank you,
right.
Veronica.
Thank you. I'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.
So what Veronica didn't want to tell you, well, I don't know if she didn't want to tell you, but what we didn't mention earlier is that she forgot to get the room she normally gets. So she had to get a temporary room, and they told her, well, you can have it, but you might get kicked out at any moment. So she was a little under the gun there. If you noticed, she was waiting for that door to open. It never did. Thank goodness. So we've got that all taken care of. She's all booked out. She'll be fine from now on. Out, route, down, dead spot.
Route. Rue route.
Row route. That's what we used to say for rural route. Row route 4. You know, he's out on row route 4. But now they've gone and named all the roads because of 911. So you don't have row route 4 anymore. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. There's a new East Meets West out, ladies and gentlemen.
You should listen to it.
You should.
Booster, even if one of you listens, it'll double our viewership or listenership.
Not quite. Almost. I am root route. Oh, man. My copy paste didn't work, Roger.
Copy pasta didn't work? Pasta.
Making yourself hungry, aren't you?
Yeah, I didn't. What did I eat? I ate for breakfast. I had toast with butter and apricot jam.
I feel like this possibly was the nadir of the news cycle this past week.
Why do you say that?
Because August is always lower in news because it's between the back to school rush and the Europeans are all on vacation.
Always the Europeans and their vacation. I think you'll have to wait till after Labor Day for the sexy stuff to come back up.
Well, yeah, once those announcements start to come back, September 7th, we got PS4 and possibly an Apple announcement if all goes well.
What if Apple went into biotech and one of the first products they do is like a genetically modified apple that could also like an actual apple.
Uh-huh.
That could I don't know, what would you do with it's like basically you get your medication, like whatever dosage.
It'd be part of their health kit.
Yeah. So like say like
I see.
So you need your set regimen of pills and whatever that you take, you just eat an apple.
Uh-huh.
It's using the melon.
Are you using the apple?
What would they call it? You can't use Macintosh because that's an actual variety.
Right. And actually they would have problems with their trademarks if they got into the business of fruit, I believe. Because the way they get away with calling the Apple Mac a Mac is because they don't actually do fruit.
What if they did like the Woz variety? Oh, are you eating an Apple Woz?
No, I'm saying like even if they don't call their Apple a Macintosh, as soon as they start selling apples, Macintosh can come and start going.
Well, what if it was a subsidiary? They spun it out into its own
there
company.
you go. See, now you're thinking like a corporate lawyer.
They'll call it Orchard. Orchard Biotech.
A wholly owned subsidiary of Apple. Well, did you hear they're dropping store from the name of the Apple stores? They're just going to call them Apple, not Apple Store.
Eventually,
I don't know that it makes much difference, to be honest.
Is it because is that a branding? It has to be. Like, is that?
Well, it's like you don't call it Kmart store. I guess Mart is built into it, but
yeah, but you don't go to Apple.
You go to Best Buy. You don't go Best Buy store.
Yeah.
So yeah, what they're trying to do is get you to say, "Oh, I go to Apple."
Yeah, but Apple is already a noun for an object. No, so, Best Buy. There wasn't a Best Buy object. Yeah, I'm going to sit on the Best Buy. No one said that. Yeah, I'm going to get in my best.
I'm sure you could think of another example, like Burger King, not Burger King store.
Yeah, but again, Burger King. What was Burger King before? Was there an actual Burger King?
Perhaps there was.
Noun.
Perhaps there was. Okay, well, no, you're telling me you can't think of an example of a store that is named after an object without the word store in it.
I mean, like Crate and
Target.
Barrel?
You don't say the Target store. You just say, I'm going to Target. Thank you, BioCow.
I'm going to Apple now.
Well, it sounds weird because we're used to calling Apple the company Apple. Chili's. Or perhaps Chi-Chi's.
So, what is a Chi-Chi?
I think it's slang for something. It's a celebration of food. That's what it is. Cracker Barrel. Thank you, Waffleophagus. It does sound weird, though.
It just sounds
that.
I mean, it's
because I'm going to Apple. I think that means you're going to One Infinite Loop, right? You're going to the headquarters of Apple.
Not going to work. It's not going to work.
Well, it's already done.
No, I mean, it's done, but it's not going to work the way they want it to work.
Well, how is it going to work?
Well, it's not going to work well, Tom. It's not going to work well.
I don't know. Well, I'm not convinced that they want you to change. I think they just want to make the branding sleeker so they don't have to use the word store and all their stuff.
I'm going to core this Apple. And I'm outside of an Apple store. I'm going to record this Apple.
Yeah, you don't go to applestore.com, though. You go to apple.com. And apple.com and the store's website are all one and the same now.
That's how they get you, Tom.
Mm.
I don't know. It could very well be a genius play, or this could be that watershed moment where all of Apple's fortunes suddenly go downhill. Mark my words.
It has to be either, though, does it?
Yes.
No, you're right. I'm being a horrible journalist. This is the make or break moment. Will it launch them into the stratosphere or utterly destroy them? Those are the only two options.
You're namby-pamby, waffly. Well, it may not be that bad or it may not be that good. Nah, take a stand.
Take a stand. We're at war.
Be a man.
Sometimes it's not waffly, it's tasty.
Well, then maybe they'll call their high-end like Best Buy has Magnolia, which is their high-end home entertainment. They could have apple pie, which could be like a high-end, I don't know, workshop for stuff, but it's PI, not the
yeah.
pie.
Oh, of course. No, I was already there with you. It would have to be PI. That's their education. That's the genius bar.
One of these days, I want to take one of those geniuses and actually make him take an IQ test. See if that.
Yeah, Waffle Office and Beatmaster both confirming that applestore.com and store.apple.com now just resolved to apple.com.
Take one of those geniuses. See if they can get into Mensa. And see how many people actually pass and get into Mensa. Because if they don't, then I'm going to say that's.
I'm going to sue them for false
advertising. He's not a genius at all. He's just intelligent. He's merely intelligent.
He's not literally a genius, Your Honor. Oh, man. Okay, I think we are published. So thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope we passed the audition. And we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.